It is time. The postseason is here. Coaches, players, fans, they all talk about it when you start the season way back in the last week of November. But a blink of an eye, or maybe longer than you would have thought. Sometimes it's a grind. Either way, that's the beauty of high school basketball. No matter what your record, everybody gets at least one game. And these two teams, basically no surprises, no strangers to each other. They met early this season, but tonight it's for the right to advance to the second round of the playoffs. Welcome aboard, everybody. As you saw our opening camera shot there, we are live from the Emerald Tinora High School Gymnasium. A big matchup tonight in sectional playoffs as the top-seeded Tinora Rams will welcome the 8th-seeded Liberty Center Tigers. Brent Balbanon alongside Scoop Miller as the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show is now underway. Scoop, we're going to let Coach Lymanstall and our player profile, Alex Homeyer, kind of set the tone for you, but don't let Liberty Center's record fool you. They struggled to find their basketball legs. A lot of football players on this basketball roster, and as nobody around here is surprised, deep runs in the football playoffs are regular for Liberty Center. I talked with head coach Greg Badenhop before the game here this evening as they were kind of trickling in. I said, at what point in time did this team get its basketball legs? He said, we played immediately, and we played back-to-back nights, as many as 4 games in a week. He goes, it wasn't until after Christmas that the dust kind of finally settled. There's an old phrase, you are what your record says you are, or you're better than what your record says you are. And in both of these cases, Tinora is very much a 17-4 and 6-1 team in the GMC, a co-champion, but Liberty Center is much better than a 9-12 record and 3-4 in the NWOAL.
Well, there's no question about that. And head coach Chris Lymanstall of the Rams, he certainly is well aware of that. If you think back, Liberty Center, 2 consecutive years they made it to the state championship in football. Their season opener was right here in the Emerald on December 21st. So they had to wait until nearly Christmas before they got one game under their belt. And again, they were just kind of learning on the fly there with that extended football run. But make no bones about it, this is a Liberty Center team that has athletes. They're going to compete. This ought to be a grind here for 32 minutes tonight.
Well, again, Liberty Center lost to Tinora in that season opener for them, 46-35. They did have to play the first round earlier this week on Tuesday, a 20-point fourth quarter, helping put them past Emmanuel Christian. On the flip side, Tinora got that first round bye, a chance to rest their legs a little bit and focus a little bit more on their scout for tonight. We'll give you our keys to the game. We're going to break this one down 6 days from Sunday, but we're going to let the coach and one of his players tell you about it in their own words. We're going to hear from head coach Chris Lymanstall coming up right after this. Our player profile is senior Alex Homeyer. Don't you go anywhere. We're back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Welcome back to the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. Brent Balbanon saying thank you for joining us on DCTV Sports. It is here. The postseason. We talk about this so many times. I know it's cliche sometimes to say coaches will break down the season into 2 or maybe even 3 different sub-seasons, but the simple fact is this, and the beauty of high school basketball is, doesn't matter what your record is, you're guaranteed at least one game in the postseason. Tinora is planning on more than one game. After a tremendous season, it's now focusing on Liberty Center. What a matchup. We've got 2 teams that played each other very early this season. 2 teams that I think both coaches would say we're not the same team we were way back in November. Coach Lymanstall's here to break it down for us, but before we preview, let's recap. You good with that?
Yeah.
You've had a chance to look at it now. And I know there's an old phrase, the days are long, but the seasons are short. Does last November seem like a long time ago, or did it go by in the blink of an eye?
Both. I mean, when you're thinking in terms of how many games ago that was, yeah, it's a long time ago, but it feels just like yesterday. And like you said, both teams are probably very much different than what we were, when we played. It was their first game of the season, so
off a deep football run.
Right. So I think, getting to the postseason, the regular season was just a formality for them, because it's very hard, I'm sure, to get into a rhythm in terms of league play and such. So they've been playing much better as of late.
You had a chance to scout Liberty Center earlier this week because they did have to play Emmanuel Christian. 20-point fourth quarter. That game was anybody's going into the last 8 minutes. Break this team down. What do they bring to the court?
Well, they bring a lot of athleticism, a lot of strength, size, physicality. Across the board, they got it with their athletes. Galen has turned into, I think he was injured fairly early, or at least in the preseason he was down, and maybe didn't get the preseason that he needed to have this sort of regular season early, but he's looked really, really good as of late.
He's a beast. I mean, he's the better part of 6'5", maybe 6'6", but in today's game where you'll see 6'7", 6'8" kids want to come out and face the basket and think they're point guards,
right?
He can post. I mean, he gets a strong wide base, his hands up. How do you defend that?
He can post. He's very patient in the post. It's not one guy that's really going to take him on. The first game we played, we did run a double team at him, so we're probably going to consider that again also. But across the board, the Miller kid's got great size. The Cruz kid comes off the bench. He's got great size. They present problems on the glass, and their guards have been shooting it much better as of late also.
You've had the benefit of having the extra part of the week, so to speak, to be able to focus on practice. How do you basically balance staying intense, but also at the same time making sure your guys are fresh for tonight?
We try to keep them short, practice-wise. We asked them earlier in the week, early in the season, it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe sometimes 3 in the preseason, but now it's all about those mental reps, keeping the body fresh. We asked them, getting off to a good start has been kind of a trend lately where we haven't been, up to par, but we try to keep them short, keep their, their undivided attention on that period of time.
What has impressed you the most about your team this year? You've talked about it before. I know Connor Welling did with a smirk on his face at the end of, I think it was the Ayersville postgame, but he talked about the maturity of this year's team, and not just one or two guys, but across the board. What has impressed you the most about this group?
Well, maturity is certainly one. The other one is their unselfishness. There's 3 guys in the seniors that average around 10 or just over 10 a game. And each one of them could go for 20. And then you throw in Josh Lieb and then Owen Farrell, who's been scoring here as of late also. Josh has really stepped it up on the defensive end and on the offensive end. So we got 5 guys that are always on the floor, and then you throw in our bench guys, and then the other guys here in practice too. They're just very, very unselfish guys that really want to, fight to stay together.
Keys for tonight. I know you talked about tempo versus rhythm, and I know I've talked about this with Scoop and a couple of our other color announcers. You can get tempo, but still not be in rhythm.
Right.
How tough is it to find that balance, so to speak? The tempo you want, but also making sure that your offense is flowing correctly?
Well, at that point, we're relying on our seniors' maturity in terms of their IQ. They recognize when we have an advantage, when it's time to go, when it's time to run offense and execute.
I don't think you probably need to give any huge Coach Dale pregame speeches from Hoosiers here. This group knows what's on the line.
Yep.
Everybody does. I mean, at this point in time of the season, playing for the right to wear the uniform one more time. This group gets that.
Yep.
How can you treat this like any other game, or do you want to?
Well, I think it's all in the preparation. I mean, the schedule has stayed the same throughout the week. Scouting's the same throughout the week. So it's just another pre-practice tonight. I'm sure the jitters will be, rolling a little bit tomorrow, but once you throw the ball up in the air, it's a matter of time. You just got to settle in and let's go.
Play ball.
Yep.
Don't overanalyze it,
right?
Something we've never been accused of on DCTV Sports. Coach, as always, we appreciate it. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Coach Limenstall joining us. We're going to take a quick time out. We're back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Welcome back. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. It is here. We started last week for the girls. This week, the boys. And on a Friday night, a huge matchup as Tinora hosting Liberty Center. You ready for this?
I am ready.
All right. The winner advances. They earn the right to wear the uniform one more time. The loser packs up their gear until next season. Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us on DCTV Sports. Big thank you also going out to our sponsor, Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, located on North Clinton Street in Defiance. Check out their great selection of new and used vehicles. You can do so in person on their lot or check them out online at drivebobestil.com. They list him at 6 foot. He's been ready for the last 24 hours. He said, "Coach, can I please be the player profile?" Coach Lymanstall finally said, "Alex Homeyer, the spotlight now shines on you." All smiles. You ready to get after this, sir?
Yes, I am.
All right. Let's rewind before we preview. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Senior year, but last year as a junior. And this team had a good run, maybe not quite as deep in the playoffs as you guys would have expected or liked to. What were you doing in the off season, skill set wise, to become a better player for this year?
Coach Lymanstall talked to me at the end of last year and said he wanted me to mainly develop a shot this summer, so I worked really hard to do that. A lot of shots up on the gun, just over and over and over again. And I think I've succeeded a little bit with that.
Now, as we've seen, you like to catch and shoot. You're not afraid to jack it from a few feet beyond the arc. But talk about where the sweet spot on the court for you is. If it comes down to a last-second shot to win the game, where do you want to set up shop at?
I would probably say the left corner is where I feel most comfortable.
Now, a lot of guys would say the depth perception's a little different, maybe a little bit more difficult from the corner versus maybe being out front. That doesn't seem to bother you. Is there a difference, in your opinion, between taking a shot from, say, 20 feet at the top of the key versus 20 feet in the corner?
I don't think it really feels a whole lot different to me. I just feel like more shots seem to go in for me from the corner than anywhere else.
And again, it's all about, I've watched you left to right step in, be ready, catch and shoot. Can you just talk about how you fit into this offense? It seems like there's really good ball movement, and guys don't seem to care who gets theirs on any given night as long as you win.
Yeah, we all share the ball really well. That's something we've talked about, our offense. And yeah, it really just depends on the night. Anyone can go off for a big night at any time, and that's what makes us so good.
Senior year, quite often it can get sentimental. All right, this is the last time I do this. Last time I spend time with my teammates doing that. Has that kicked in with you at all yet, or have you been able to kind of keep that compartmentalized and just focused on the task at hand?
It snuck in my mind a little bit, but I mean, we're focused on this game, and we know that we can win this game if we go out and do what we're capable of.
Coach Lymanstall is very much about next game on the schedule, one game at the time. You can use whatever coach speak you want to, but this team seems to buy into that. Where's your mindset now, knowing it is one and done? You lose and you pack up your gear.
Yeah, it's all on LC right now. We were there watching the game on Tuesday, had scouting report yesterday. We're locked in on LC, and we're ready to go out and win.
Now, Tinora saw Liberty Center early this year. When I say early, I mean early. They're a different team. As a matter of fact, you're a different team. You guys mirror each other in what ways? You're obviously different in style, maybe tempo or pace, but what do you expect to see from them tonight?
I expect them to get out and pressure us a lot, just try to overwhelm us. They're LC, they think they can do that, and maybe intimidate us a little bit, but we're ready to show what we can do, play our own game.
This group doesn't seem easily intimidated. I know I've talked with Spichala and Welling a couple weeks ago, and they both said the same thing. Actually, Coach Lymanstall agreed. There seems to be a maturity this year. Not that last year's team wasn't, but it's maybe spread across more guys than just a couple. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think we're a little bit more mature and just a little bit smarter this year.
I won't ask him what he means by that, but the smile on his face makes me think we could do a whole hour on that. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys need to do. What's the key to beating Liberty Center and moving on?
I think we need to control the pace of the game, rebound, do our own thing. Base defense is going to be big.
You are a senior. We touched on that a little bit. A couple months going to roll by. You'll be strutting across the stage, styling in the cap and gown, got the diploma in hand. What's the future going to hold for Alex Omeyer?
I hope to leave a good note at Tinora High School. Hopefully go to college in the future, stay at home, go to Northwest.
Go to Northwest, and what area of study were you thinking about?
I'd like to pursue radiology.
What got you interested in that?
I don't know. I've always been fascinated in the medical field, and my mom's a nurse.
Okay. So did you have a little bit of influence or no?
A little bit.
Okay, just a little. We're giving credit to Mom. Mom gets her props here. More importantly, we're not going to graduate you too soon. You're keeping it right here and now. This place gets electric. It is, I think, one of the more underrated basketball venues, at least in this part of the state. How much of an advantage? How important is it to you to be able to play on your home court here with your home crowd behind you?
Yeah, it means a lot, especially knowing that it's the last time ever that I get to play at home in front of these fans in a packed-out gym. It's going to be a really fun game.
All right. Good luck to you. Congratulations on a great season. Keep it going.
Thank you.
Alex Homeyer, our player profile. Don't you go anywhere. We're back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Back at the Emerald, we are counting down the minutes. Postseason boys basketball. Tinora, 17-4 overall, 6-1 and co-champs in the Green Meadows Conference, taking on Liberty Center. The Tigers at 10-12 overall, 3-4 in the NWOAL. But make no mistake, this is a team that had a ton of football players on it very early in the season that didn't get their basketball legs until about halfway through the season. They enter tonight on a 2-game winning streak. Time for your keys to the game. Brought to you by Northwest State Community College. Northwest State Community College, your key to great career opportunities begins with a great education at Northwest State. Visit northweststate.edu or call 419-267-1320 today. Let's go ahead and take a look at for the visitors. First, Scoop, you got to break this one down for us, because if you got to go to the shot doctor in the second round of the playoffs, I'm assuming things are problematic. Break it down for us.
Well, I think for Liberty Center, it's going to be awfully important for them to come out and shoot with some confidence. This has been a struggle point for Liberty Center throughout the year as they come in. The Tigers from the field shooting just 46%, and from beyond the arc, they're shooting less than 30%, and from the free throw line, shoot just 56%. So they're going to have to really kind of shore some things up. When they get open looks, they're going to have to cash in with them. I think the second key tonight for the Tigers, they've got to win that turnover chain. You know, it's going to be so important that they value the basketball. They really play strong with it. They want to try to have more possessions tonight. When you're not shooting lights out, you need to find a way to get more offense. You do that by getting more possessions. One way you do it is by protecting the basketball and then forcing turnovers on your opposition. If they can get it done in these areas tonight, they can pull out a huge win here tonight at the Emerald.
On the flip side, for head coach Chris Limenstall and the Tinora Rams, look, patience is a virtue. There is no secret. You've got two teams with very diametrically opposed philosophies. Again, Liberty Center wants to run. That is not Tinora's game plan.
Well, no doubt about it. It's going to be so important for the Rams to really control the tempo. You know, they're going to have an energized crowd here behind them here, playing in Jewel. They're going to be smart with the basketball. They got to be really efficient at the offensive end. This is the Ram team that comes in scoring, you know, just 45 points a game. So they're going to have to really do a good job of not getting in the track meet with Liberty Center, because you mentioned, Brent, this team likes to get up and down. Then
on the bottom, it's at the defensive end. You got to starve the big cat. Gavin Galen is an absolute monster down low, and at 6'5" and probably about a good 235, 240. He knows how to post, and he gets a lot of his offensive production on garbage putbacks. He is going to draw a lot of attention. They need to limit his touches tonight.
They really do. You know, Gavin Galen's been one of the top players in the Northwest Ohio Athletic League the last 2 years. He's been one of the top scorers, one of the top rebounders. There's so many ways he can hurt you. So you have to really limit his post touches, make him work awfully hard to get the basketball. So once he does, he might be just a little less effective.
Those are your keys to the game, brought to you by Northwest State Community College. Check them out, northweststate.edu, or give them a call at 419-267-1320 today. Let's go ahead and give you a look at the starting lineups, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, baker-schindler.com. First for the visiting Tigers, coached in his 13th year by Greg Badenhop. Again, 10-12 overall with that win over Emmanuel Christian in the opening round of the playoffs on Tuesday night. As we mentioned, 3-4 to finish up the NWOAL season. But they come in on a mission. Your starters tonight. At the point, it will be Blake Garber, the 6-foot senior. Again, he likes to go left. They want to force him right tonight. But he comes in, and again, you're going to take a look at really a lot of balance. With one exception, you're going to see a lot of guys with 9 points, 8 points, 8.9 points. Again, it's one of those situations where Gavin Galen is the leading scorer at just 12, but a ton of balance. But this is a kid that stirs the drink. Grady Miller at the off guard. Again, a 6'4 senior. Miller enters tonight's contest, averaging 9 points and 4.5 boards per contest. Ethan Gray will be your swing. Number 2 man, Gray, at 5'10 and a sophomore. Guess what, Scoop? 9 points and 3 boards per contest. Isaiah Badenhop. Yeah, the name probably sounds familiar. Coach's son. He is a freshman as he stands in at 5'11". Badenhop, again, averaging 3.5 points, 2.5 boards per contest. And then the big man, Space Eater, Gavin Galen. Galen stands in at 6'5", better part of it, almost 6'6". He is a senior, and he's averaging 11.5 points and nearly 9 rebounds per contest. On the flip side, for Chris Limenstall and the Tinora Rams, the usual suspects, they aren't very deep. This starting 5 will log a ton of minutes, and none the least of which is the senior point guard, 5'11", Connor Welling. This kid leads the team in the 3 major categories. 10.5 points per contest. As the point guard, 6.5 rebounds per contest, and an eyelash under 4 at 3.9 assists per contest. Coach Limenstall gave this kid high praise yesterday, Scoop. He said in his entire coaching career, Connor Welling is the toughest ball player he's ever coached.
Well, he's one of the toughest I've seen, and he's a guy also that leads the team in steals. So there's a 4th category that certainly he's stepped up big time. He plays at both ends.
Owen Farrell will get the starting nod at off guard, the 5'11 sophomore. Farrell averages 3.5 points per contest. At the swing, it will be Josh Lieb. Lieb standing in at 6'2 and a sophomore. Lieb averaging 9.8 points per contest and nearly 3 rebounds. Alex Homeyer, our player profile. Quiet, unassuming young man, very, very gritty. 6'2 and a sophomore. Again, nearly 10 points per contest. And in the middle, although more of a stretch forward, Adam Spichala, the 6'3 senior. Spichala averaging 9.5 points, 5.5 rebounds per contest. Those are your starting lineups, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company, serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, baker-schindler.com. This place is almost completely packed. There is a smattering of open seats just underneath the press or crow hop area here on the east side of the gymnasium. Still some room if you are out and about, want to stretch your legs tonight. But Scoop, if this game is half as good on the court as it looks on paper, everybody in the gym, the Emerald here tonight, is in for a treat.
Well, I totally agree. If you look back at past history, these teams have split the last 8 contests. Neither team has more than a 2-game winning streak against the other, and most of these games have been decided by single digits. This one tonight could be as well.
Our Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show coming to an end as the colors have been unfurled at the west side of the Emerald. We want to thank our sponsor for the national anthem, the Defiance County Veterans Office. The Defiance County Veterans Office, proud to support local veterans and their families. National anthem in the books, courtesy of the Defiance County Veterans Office. Connecting veterans and their family members with critical resources. To learn about or request more information on, log on to defiance-county.com/veterans office or give their office a call at 419-782-6861. Tinora in their home whites. I can't believe I saw that. Connor Welling, number 3 in the middle of your screen. Look at him. He's just kicking back like he woke up from a nap. He just let out a huge yawn. Don't tell me that there are nerves on that Ram bench. Holy cow.
Well, been there, done that. Just another day in the park here, and looking forward to a sectional title here on the line tonight.
Rams in their home whites with the green lettering and numerals. Liberty Center in their traveling black uniforms with the orange piping and trim with the white lettering and numerals. Time to get after it. These two teams met way back early in the season. It was pre-Christmas back in December. Tinora knocked off Liberty Center by a final of 46-35. But Scoop, as we talked about during the pregame, that is in the rear view mirror. Neither one of these teams even close to what they were in the first contest.
You're exactly right. You know, two different teams, but you still have that competitive fire from both sides, and Tinora is coming in winners of 9 of their last 11.
Yep.
And the only 2 losses during that stretch, Brent, were to a very good Archbold team that's playing tonight in the district at Swanton, and also a Paulding team, perhaps the hottest team in Northwest Ohio. That loss to Paulding was the Panthers' 10th consecutive win, which allowed the Panthers to get a piece of the GMC title, along with the Wayne Trace Raiders and, of course, the Tinora Rams. The Rams, their first GMC title since the 2011 season. They're just their third here, really, in the last 20 years.
So that Paulding game came down to the final shot. Connor Welling got a 3-pointer off that trickled off the left side of the iron. But what's the old phrase? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And no surprise to see the success that the GMC is having in the postseason. That was a regular season meat grinder.
It really was. And the only loss this year at the Emerald for Tinora, they were a perfect 10-0 until Paulding came here with everything on the line. The Panthers were able to get it done in what was certainly maybe the GMC game of the year in basketball this season.
Our officiating crew here this evening, as you see Liberty Center starters being introduced, they'll dim the lights and get the hype machine going for the Rams. A veteran crew, an excellent crew. Joe Allen, Mark Freilich, and Wayne Allstatter. You want the best when the best are in uniform, and we've got an excellent crew here tonight.
Yeah, these guys have done a lot of tournament games. These guys have been a lot of state tournament games too, so a very good, experienced crew. And again, these guys deserve to be here. These guys are voted on by the coaches to get types of games like this, and it's always exciting to be a part of a sectional championship atmosphere that we have tonight.
The non-starters being introduced right now for Tinora. Fist bumping the officials, and then Liberty Center coach Greg Begenhop. Never had a chance to meet him before, but just instantly. Of course, most of the time when you talk to a coach about their sport, they're going to lock in, but he was fantastic to talk to.
Well, he's a fantastic coach and also was a fantastic player back for Liberty Center today. He also went on to play at Ohio Northern, an outstanding competitor. Last year he was the NWL Coach of the Year as the Tigers were able to get their first league championship since the 2005 season. So they break a 19-year drought in the NWL. They're right now trying to garner a sectional championship on the road here at the Emerald.
I know it's tough to see with the lights down, but the student body has formed a long tunnel on the east side of the Emerald here from little kids to seniors. Probably, in about another 10, 11 or 12 years, those kids will be suiting up. We may be calling them in the postseason. All right, 48 hours of hype. It all funnels down into 2 hours of truth. Somebody will be advancing to the next round of the playoffs, while the other will be packing their gear away until next season.
Well, it's going to come down to execution. You're going to have to play through the runs your opposition has. You've got to play a complete 32 minutes if you want to have the right to move on to the districts at Napoleon next week.
Galen in the center circle for the Tigers. It will be Homeyer for the Rams. Ball is in the air. Both players mistimed their jump, but the Tigers win the tip, and they will open things up. Again, man-to-man defense right now by the Rams. Good bounce pass down low and feed the beast early. What did we say the Rams need to do? They've got to starve him, and you just saw 95% of Liberty Center's offensive game plan right there.
Well, how about Ethan Gray dropping a dime there in the middle to beat that man-to-man pressure of the Rams. Impressive initial possession here by Liberty Center.
Now look at this. Galen, technically the center, is out on Welling, the point guard. Nice spin move, pump fake. Shot just a bit short. Welling couldn't quite save it as he falls out of bounds. Liberty Center, no surprise, it's a very short drive over on 24, but their faithful have traveled well. That entire section on the far side of the Emerald is lined with black and orange.
Well, they've had so much success over the years, especially on the gridiron, but they do travel well, as we all know.
Gray on the drive. They get it down low to Galen. On the weak side, one pass too many, and that's just a great job by Welling. Rare fast break opportunity, 360 spin move. That is what Al McGuire used to call a little French pastry as we're tied at 2.
Oh, no doubt about it. Sweet looking move, and there's a quick three at the other end. Liberty Center gets an offensive board.
On the drive, Smachala with the facial. Homeyer, it's 1-on-3. He doesn't care, and he's stripped. And that'll be another turnover.
What a big-time play by Blake Garber that time to get in transition defense.
Nice lean in, shot a little too hard off the glass by Miller. And look at that, number 3 with the board. Welling trots it across the timeline. Tinora very patient. They just try and wear you down offensively. Farrell.
They really spread things out. And this is
that's a heat check.
My goodness.
Now, Spichala has the green light, but my guess is Coach Lymanstall would say that shot will be there later.
I think that's a shot you could probably get every time down the floor.
Oh,
here's
wow.
The Premier Bank 3 from the left side.
Badenhop. And what do we got, a whistle here? They're mopping up a part of the court where he hit the deck.
Well, how about Badenhop there coming up with that big Premier Bank 3? Anytime you've got a freshman that can knock down his first shot, boy, that's got to bode some confidence here. That puts the Tigers up by 3 here early, 2 minutes in.
Garrison Cruz checking in now for Liberty Center. As the lead is 3, very physical, and that's going to be another turnover. Breakaway layup at the other end, and immediately making his presence felt, Garrison Cruz with a basket.
Well, both teams have got some points from their defense early on here.
Welling looking down low. Spichala first cutter through, nothing doing. Welling's going to drive. Again, such patience on the offensive end by the Rams. Boy, look at Welling and Galen just banging on each other. He jammed him as a cutter. Baseline cut. Homeyer had a little bit of a love tap from Gray, and they're going to call it out of bounds off the Rams. How many does that make for him now early on?
Well, 3 Ram turnovers early. Liberty Center with that 1 turnover. Of course, that turnover, that steal by Welling, ended up 2 points for Tinora. Their only points of the night have come from their defense.
Score remains a 5-point lead for Liberty Center. Almost 3 minutes into the ball game. Garber. That's just a good move by Cruz. Lots of movement without the basketball by Liberty Center. Galen cut off at the free throw line. Liberty Center's got some thick kids. Cruz posting up down low and throws it away.
That's a second steal of the night for Connor Welling. See if the Rams can turn it into points.
Spichala, dangerous pass. Lieb, though, able to track it down as he keeps a waist-high dribble in between the circles. Now he needs some help. Tight man-to-man defense by the Tigers. And this is vintage Tinora Chris Lymanstall offense. Patience. Spin move, beauty off the square. Josh Lieb cuts the deficit to 3.
Tough move there by the sophomore. Great possession that time by the Rams. Spread things out, moving the basketball. Forced the Liberty Center to expend a little effort on the defensive end.
Inside to Galen, they get it right back out. Spychala hand checking, lots of contact, leaning in, nothing doing. Second opportunity, and that's just brute strength by Camden Robinson.
Oh, tremendous play by Camden Robinson. That's a blue-collar play. You know, those are going to go a long ways tonight. Well, he really had no business coming up with that bucket, but he worked for it and earned it.
On the dribble penetration, Homeyer cut off. Finds Welling cutting down the middle of the paint. Double clutches in midair. Give him 2 off the square.
Nifty looking pass that time from Homeyer, but how about the rim run from Welling?
Yep.
A nifty finish there.
9-6, 3 at the other end. Boy, catch and shoot. Ethan Gray with a Premier Bank three-pointer, second of the night for the Tigers.
Well, he's their top three-point shooter, just over 36% from downtown.
Boy, that was a long 3 by Farrell, and 1 and done. 5 white jerseys get back. Another long 3. Oh, net! This one from Gray again. Back-to-back threes, and it's the largest lead of the game for the Tigers at 15-6, and Chris Lymanstall wants a timeout. I believe this is a 30-second. Yes, so we will keep it here. My goodness. You've got to honor that at what point, Scoop? Because that is a 22, maybe 23-footer. He's drained 2 in a row now.
Well, I thought that was a breakdown that time by Tinora, because certainly he's a proven shooter, a top three-point threat on the season. You have to account for him in transition. And that time, the Rams a little bit slow, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Brent. They just really didn't honor that. You know, he was maybe 5 feet beyond the arc. But I can bet this time out, they're going to address that very scenario.
Yep.
I look for him to be a face guard here once he gets across the timeline from here on out.
How good was Ethan Gray from beyond the arc this season? He took 110 three-pointers. He hit 40 for almost 37%. At the college level, that's exceptional. At the high school level, that's spectacular.
Well, you're right. And the shock doctor is certainly in town here for Liberty Center tonight here in the early going.
Largest deficit of the night in the early going for Tinora, keeping their patience. Down 15-6. Skip pass by Chala. Whips it around to the near corner. Shively pump fakes his man into the front row of the stands, but didn't take it to the hoop.
Right now, Liberty Center after the timeout switched to a 1-3-1 here, trying to confuse the Rams. And a steal.
Uh-oh, look out. Here comes Galen.
Sideline.
Yep.
That was going to be showtime right there.
Yep.
Galen jumped that route that time. Looked like he was going to have a breakaway. But a veteran official, Joe Allen, saw the right foot come right on the edge of that sideline. Well, that's a break for the Rams.
Well, I'm impressed with Galen, not just because I thought they'd be posting him up. He's playing the top half of this 1-3-1. He is coming out on guards. This one deflected out of bounds. Well, Liberty Center has just brought an extra level of intensity to open up this ball game. So what's your key? How do you attack this 1-3-1 if you're Tinora?
Well, you've got to pump fake. You've got to get it to the middle here. I mean, you have to set up on the elbows there. You cannot go east and west. You also have to screen 1-3-1s. And right now, a lot of standing around here by the Rams here trying to figure things out.
Spychala. Nobody's attacked yet. Ball goes into the corner. That's almost thrown away. Shively almost stripped from behind. Now he's triple teamed in the corner, and they turn it over again. Galen keeps his dribble. He's going up against a double team, and he'll head to the free throw line. Take your pick on the Rams.
All right, now Gavin Galen, a man among boys. He's just really going downhill. He was determined. He was going to get to the rack, and that time really numbers were in Tenora's favor. But the effort there from Galen gets him to the stripe. The first one off the back of the iron.
He's not a great free throw shooter at 51%. Maybe the only chink in his armor, but he'll get another here. Trying to make it a 10-point lead. And he does. Well, again, I keep a running score, but I'm be curious, how many minutes of a drought are we going on now for Tinora?
for the Rams. They got that early deuce from their defense, that steal by Welling, but they're over 4 minutes, and that ends right there with a nifty up and under move by Parker Hancock.
Cuts the deficit in half. It's 16-8. Galen really being bodied up, and quick hands, great anticipation by Welling as he knocks it out of bounds.
Welling's doing such a great job the defensive end, trying to create havoc. He's doing a great job anticipating, reading the eyes of the Liberty Center offense. That time he nearly had his third steal here this opening quarter.
Just under a minute left to go in the first quarter. Tigers have doubled up the Rams, and we'll see if Liberty Center wants to work for their first best look and maybe take a little air out of the ball and work for the final shot of the quarter. Welling really harassing Gray. Almost got the steal, knocks it out of bounds, and they're going to call him for a foul.
Well, that's an excellent call. That's a great hustle play there by Welling. That time he sold out, trying to tip that ball into the backcourt to possibly lead to another turnover. But that time he gets whistled for the foul. Neither team really with early foul troubles. Liberty Center has not committed a foul. Meanwhile, the Rams, that's just their second here in the opening 7+.
They've let them play. 40 seconds left to go. Liberty Center looks like they're still working their offense pretty sharp. On the drive, and Holmeyer steals it. That might have been a Spichala deflection.
Well, great man-to-man defense. Look for Tinora here to maybe hold it for the last shot here. They also get the ball to start the second quarter, so the Rams can go on a mini run here.
Facing that 1-3-1, which is really extended way out beyond the top of the arc. Normally about 10 seconds is when you really want to put your offense in motion. And we've hit the 10-second mark right now. Welling backs it out. Skip pass. Almost stolen away. Backcourt, they've got to hustle. Welling from half court. In and out. Well, that would have brought the roof off this place. But instead, first 8 minutes are now in the books, and Liberty Center making a statement as they've doubled up the hosts 16-8. Tigers lead the Rams. We'll take a Mark Moats Ford timeout. Back with quarter number 2. You're watching DCTV Sports. Back at the Emerald, you can see the scoreboard clock right there. Tigers have doubled up the host Rams 16-8. Division 5 boys postseason basketball playoff action. Winner advances to the second round next week. Loser will pack it up for another season. Almost looks like a mini conference tournament, doesn't it? Between a mix between the GMC and the NWOAL.
Well, I love it because this is a wide open district tournament, no question about it. I think every coach would tell you in there, there's really no weak link in there. A lot of times you can maybe look past somebody a little bit, but really any team in there capable of beating any team every night. Remember, Tinora the number 1 seed, but somebody forgot to tell Liberty Center the Tigers really came out clicking at both ends. They doubled up the Rams here in the opening 8 minutes.
Again, the winner of this one will get the winner of the Eastwood Delta game next week. As Spichala cuts back door, but his momentum took him away from the basket. Welling drives and dishes. I thought he might have been able to get to the rim. This 1-3-1, actually, nope, they've switched.
They switched man to man.
Switched back to man.
Coach Badenhop likes to do that, switch his defense after timeouts, after you maybe made the adjustment during the break, then you come out and see something else.
Welling on the drive, dishes to Spichala, catch and shoot. Got it! We'll wait and see if that takes the lid off the basket. Spichala, the first couple go in, Scoop, and he becomes very, very hot. We'll wait and see if that boosted his confidence.
Well, that was huge that time. A quick release by Spichala, and then a nice answer at the other end as Grady Miller, the 6'4 senior, powers one in. And points from the paint for the Tigers continue to mount up.
Lead is 7. Welling into the paint, but kicks it back out. Boy, Liberty Center's defense, I don't care if it's a zone or a man, sticky. And there we see again it paying dividends. Galen with the steal. And they want to run. Galen crosses over, middle of the paint, in and out. He did everything but finish.
Well, he had to shoot through contact, but that thing nearly went in. Another strong power move.
Top of the key, 3 on the way, and all of a sudden the Rams heating up from beyond the arc. This time Josh Lieb with another Premier Bank 3.
That's a mistake that time by the Tigers. You could not allow Josh Lieb to catch and shoot in rhythm. A guy hitting nearly 50% from beyond the arc on the season. Huge 3 right there for the Rambos.
Gray almost slipped but kept his balance. Miller stops and pops from beyond the arc, banks it in! Well, why not? A bank is our sponsor.
Yeah, Premier Bank 3. Premier Bank is always open. Sometimes it's a 24-hour ATM machine, but it still counts as 3.
Goodness. Lead back up to 7. Both teams hot from beyond the arc. Welling fakes the pass, drives in, and I think he thought he was fouled. He'll hustle back. Long 3 on the far corner. Halfway down it spits out. Miller with the board, leans in against Spichala. They're going to call it a foul on Adam. Spichala with his second.
Well, credit Liberty Center right now. They're making so many blue-collar plays. That's a rebound that really Tinora should have came up with. Again, the hustle play starting to mount up here for the Tigers.
Extremely.
That'll send Grady Miller, the senior to the stripe. Miller, a 51% free throw shooter, makes good on the first. And right now, how about Liberty Center? They've weathered those back-to-back threes by the Rams and now have the lead back to 8. Looking to make it 9 here if Miller can connect on the back end.
Second is on the way and rattles it home. He has done all the scoring for the Tigers here in the second quarter. 7 points, and look at that. The lead all of a sudden back up to 9. And they're going to come out in some token pressure here.
Yeah, that time Garber tried to deny Welling the basketball there, forced somebody else to bring it up and direct the offense.
Right now, Tinora just being patient, continuing to run their offense. Liberty Center's defense just meets you everywhere, and that's a great backdoor cut. That ball was partially blocked. Parker Hancock went up, and all of a sudden it came back. And great ball movement at the other end. Tremendous feed. Cruz, was that Gray who lays it in, and the lead now 11. And Coach Lymanstall wants a timeout. And this will be a full version. We'll take a Mark Moats Ford timeout with them. Located on County Road 424 in Defiance and online at markmoatsford.com. Tigers taking it to the Rams right now. We're back after this on DCTV. Five minutes, 1 second showing on the first half clock as we welcome you back to the Emerald. Brent Balbanon alongside Scoop Miller. Boys Division 5 basketball playoff action. Right now, Liberty Center, the guests, taking to the host Rams 25-14. Coach Lymanstall calling a timeout. Scoop, it's a little bit of everything. It's been the fast break. It's been great ball movement in the half-court offense. I guess where do you start if you're Tinora?
Well, they have to start executing. And we talked about this being a game that's going to come down to execution. Well, guess what? Liberty Center, as you mentioned, Brent, they're executing in every phase of the game. I mean, their offense, their defense, their special teams, that's getting on those loose balls, getting to the blue-collar plays, running your out-of-bounds sets, breaking pressure, and so forth. They're doing a great job. Tinora has to really step things up defensively to turn this first half around.
The pressure, whether it's man-to-man or zone, by Liberty Center's defense has been spectacular, and it forces shots like that, about a 22-footer by Spichala. We've got a jump ball, or do we have a foul? Underneath, and I believe it's going against Liberty Center, and it's going against Garrison Cruz.
And that'll bring a cheer from the Tinora faithful. I believe that's the first Liberty Center foul of the evening.
It is.
And it came just a little bit over 11 minutes into this one.
They'll reverse the ball. Welling. Back out. Spichala left wing. Flash, oh, that's great movement without the ball. Welling couldn't quite secure the pass. He got lucky. They bailed him out with the foul.
Well, that was great offense that time by Tinora. They did a nice job of spreading things out. And then when Owen Farrell got at the short corner, you always want to look for a rim run when you get the ball in the short corner. That's what Farrell did. And credit Welling, he's the guy with that rim run. Now he gets to the stripe. First one, though, off the mark.
He's a 61%, yeah.
Contest.
He's a 61% free throw shooter. They aren't a great free throw shooting team. Normally you want your point guard to be at least 70%. Second is on the way, gets 1 of 2. Lead cut to 10. Liberty Center just looks smooth right now, Scoop.
Yeah, they're playing with so much confidence. They're playing connected.
Holy cow.
There's a nice dribble move by Camden Robinson. He's a guy that started most of last year. They have the luxury of bringing him off the bench.
Well, the pass to the baseline, but again, Lee hesitated. Welling, nice bounce pass. Got to keep your hands up and anticipate, though, and on the deflection, there's another turnover. Nice job hustling, diving into the student section. Owen Farrell appears to be none the worse for wear. You know, Coach Badenhop told me, he said at the beginning of the season, they had legitimately, Scoop, 15 guys who they could play. And he said, we couldn't do that. He said, we had to cut it to 10. And I'm thinking most coaches would say, 10? I mean, that's literally a reserve, a quality one at every position on the court.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And again, these guys are corn-fed. You know, these guys are thick. You know, these guys aren't afraid of contact. Wow, they've been a load here early.
Oh, my goodness, and showing some range from deep on the right wing. Camden Robinson with a Premier Bank 3. Give him 7, and they've doubled up Tinora now 30-15.
Again, Robinson shooting over 36% from beyond the arc as well. So a proven shooter you have to account for.
Good ball reversal. Spichala, that's a good shot for him, and he rattles home a Premier Bank 3.
Oh, big bucket that time by Spichala, and credit Josh Lieb that time. He passed up a good shot for a great shot. That extra pass made the difference, and a huge 3 for the Rams.
Good ball movement. Pump fake, nice drive by Badenhop. Can he get the teardrop? He cannot. Farrell with a strong board. And then immediately they're right in your grill, though. You get no breathing room whatsoever.
Their defensive pressure has just been outstanding.
Corner 3 misses everything, and Welling took a shot on the nose. Galen Low blocks, draws 3 white jerseys. Nice pump fake by Cruz on the drive, a little too strong. Spichala cleans up under the cylinder. Under 2.5 left to go in the first half. Down by a dozen. Basket here would go a long way for Tinora. Little contacts. Nice rip. Welling drives, dishes. Is it me or is Tinora just a little gun shy right now? And there's a turnover.
Gun shy.
5 white jerseys do get back. Under 2 minutes now left to go in the half. Galen gets a touch. Back out up top. Robinson, is he feeling it? Nothing doing. And look at Welling. Out-muscle 3 black jerseys for the ball.
Welling is working awfully hard at both ends. There's a nifty pass from Welling. Nearly had the end won. But Tinora that time executes in transition. And now they'll get a pair at the charity stripe as Josh Lee, the sophomore, 81% free throw shooter, will head to the stripe, try to get this lead down to 10 here.
By far and away their best free throw shooter. He's hearing it from the Liberty Center student body, but Lee drains his first. I think Tinora needs more of what Connor Welling just did there, though. Somebody's got to be aggressive and take it off the dribble drive, and Welling didn't shoot, but he created a shot.
Well, if you don't do that, that defense is going to continue to be aggressive. They're going to continue to body up to you, double team, force you over the top. So you have to really attack it. You've got a ball fake. You have to go downhill if you want to offset this aggressiveness by the Tigers we've seen here tonight.
Lead remains 11. Ooh, wow. Lots of physicality on the drive and a little long off of Wes Wilhelm's fingertips. Tinora with a chance to cut it to single digits. Drive and a dish. Spichala, left to right, step in. Can't get the three. That was a great drive. That was a great shot. They just didn't hit it, and now a frustration foul.
Well, I like the fact they got the inside-out look. That's something they need more of. You know, in tournament play, you know, officials are going to let you play a lot more. There's not going to be as many opportunities to get to the stripe, so you have to really attack that defense. If not, the defense is going to be all over you, and that's really been the difference here in this opening 15 minutes.
Foul went against Welling, his second. We're under a minute left to go in the half. Catch and shoot off the screen. They are just firing on all cylinders. Ethan Gray with his third from distance tonight.
Well, great execution. He didn't have much separation, but had just enough to get off that three.
Down by 14.
Look at that hustle play.
That's another turnover. Back and forth we go. Bodies flying everywhere. And now a foul on Welling, and that's going to be his third. And Chris Lymanstall can't believe it.
Yeah, Welling, to his credit, he's trying to do all he can to keep Tinora within check right now. Unfortunately for the Rams, that will be his third foul. Just a third-team foul for the Rams here in the second quarter.
Coach Lymanstall's leaving him in with just 31 seconds left. You got to play smart here, though, if you're the senior point guard.
Yeah, especially here, Liberty Center will hold it for the last shot, so Welling's only going to be on defense here this final possession.
Well, both teams breathing heavy right now. This has been an incredible first half. Still waiting. Garber. 10 seconds. Do they want to put their offense in motion yet? Garber on the drive. Bounce pass deflected out of bounds with 6.3 seconds left. And now we'll have a substitution. Parker Hancock will check in for Welling. The inbounds, 4 seconds. They run a weak side cut and too far underneath the basket, and Hancock's more than happy to just hang on to it. So an 8-point lead at the end of one has turned into a 14-point lead at the end of the half. Liberty Center 33. You can hear the chants coming from the Tiger student body at Tinora as they head to the locker room. 33-19. We'll take a 2-minute break, a 2-minute timeout. Back with the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
There you get a good look from our half-court camera at the Emerald Tinora High School Gymnasium. Brent Balbadon alongside Scoop Miller. Whoa, we got some Defiance in the house. Jordan Wright and Khalil Ligon coming over to watch some basketball. Congratulations to those two young men and their teammates as Defiance knocked off Salina last night. They will advance to next week's second round. They'll take on the winner of the Springfield-Wapakoneta game, which for some reason was being played tonight instead of last night. So we'll still have to wait. But rest assured, they are happy to be moving on. Right now, we are 16 minutes away from one of these two teams moving on. And how about this? The number 8 seed leading the number 1 seed, Liberty Center, 33, Tinora, 19. Time for your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Celebrating 70 years of helping you achieve your dreams and securing your future. Visit them in Defiance, Bryan, or Napoleon, and online at midwestcommunity.org. There you see the bracket for Division 5, Region 18. Eastwood would be the heavy favorite coming out of the bottom half of the top of the bracket. But right now, neither Tinora or Liberty Center can worry about that. The only scoreboard that matters is the one right here. Let's run down some of your scoring totals. And how about this? Ethan Gray, he averages 8.9 points per contest. He's already above his per-game average, and we're halfway through this one. 3 threes for the Tiger guard. He's got 11 points to lead all scorers. Hot on his heels, 7 points for Grady Miller. And Cam Robinson, who, Scoop, you mentioned was a starter last year, coming off the bench this season. He's got 7, 3 points apiece for Isaiah Badenhop and center Gavin Galen. On the flip side, 4 of the 5 starters for Tinora have scored, but that's it. And nobody with more than a half a dozen. Spichala with 2 threes. Josh Lieb with 1 to his credit. Also 1 of 2 from the free throw line and a basket. 6 points. 3 points for point guard Connor Welling and a deuce for Alex Homeyer. The key there, though, Scoop, Welling picked up his 3rd foul with less than a minute left to go in the half. He has to be on the floor, but can he be as aggressive to start the second half?
Well, that's why they need him on the floor. They needed to be aggressive because that Tinora offense really stalled there against high pressure from Liberty Center. They just kept extender defense. We saw mainly man-to-man pressure from the Tigers, but when they switched to 1-3-1, that 1-3-1 was very effective.
Yes.
It really kind of threw the Rams off. The Rams were trying to run their offense from outside the 10-foot spiking line, the volleyball court. They were running near the sideline. They just never got the ball in the middle there. They have to find a way to break down that defense. I think it's going to have to start with dribble penetration, and certainly Welling, a guy capable of doing just that.
Well, here's my question for you. Can anybody else besides Welling do it? Because with 3 fouls, not only does he need to be careful, but you know, at the defensive end, Liberty Center's going to mark him. They're going to go right at him. So who besides Connor Welling can step up and be that aggressive ball handler and even defender for that matter?
Well, they're going to have somebody step up. You know, that's the main problem because Liberty Center, to Coach Greg Badenhop's credit, they're anticipating nobody else going to the rack right now. So they're going out there contesting those threes, and it's just not, they're not normal threes that Tenora's taking. They're 4, 5, 6 feet beyond the arc.
Deep.
They're also taking a little bit quicker than maybe they're comfortable doing. So they have to find a way to attack that. You have to make Liberty Center play you honest. And right now the Tigers have not needed to do that.
What do you have for turnovers for both teams?
Well, for Tinora, they turned over 8 times in the first half.
Wow.
And here's the stat I think, Brett, that really sticks out. Only 3 turns for Liberty Center. So that tells me that Tinora is going to have to turn up the pressure defensively if they want to get back in this one.
Again, 8 turnovers in the first half. Tinora only averages 10.9 per game. Tip your cap to Liberty Center's defense. All right, take us in the locker room. Your coach, Greg Badenhop, for the Tigers. What are you telling your team right now?
What you're telling them right now, hey, it's a 0-0 game. You know, the first half is in the rearview mirror. We go out, we set the tone the first 3 minutes. We have to do it with aggressive style. We threw the first few punches the first half. It boded us well, but now we got a new half. We got to come out slugging.
Boy, Liberty Center student body is giving it to Tinora. Chant of overrated. I don't know that you want to poke the bear, but right now the score speaks for itself at 33-19. We'll see how the Rams respond. Speaking of the Rams, your coach Chris Limenstall. They're out. Quick shoot around right now. What did you tell your team in the locker room?
Well, you're going to challenge your kids to come out and not just try to match Liberty Center's aggressiveness and intensity, but you've got to go beyond it. And so far, Liberty Center really, I thought they dominated the blue-collar plays, the hustle plays that first half. Tenora's going to have to get it done the blue-collar way the second half if they want to work their way back in. The good thing for the Rams, they still got plenty of time. They've got 16 minutes, but you cannot give up 33 points here in the second half to Liberty Center and expect to advance to next week's district tournament.
We're 90 seconds away from resuming play. Tigers 33, Rams 19. We'll take a 30-second break. Back with quarter number 3 right after this. The Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show is in the books. You're watching DCTV Sports. Final 33 seconds of the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show ticking off the clock. Both teams have finished their quick warm-ups. Balls are back in the racks, and we are getting set for third quarter action. Visiting Liberty Center 33, host Tinora 19. This is a 1 versus 8 seed matchup. Don't tell the Tigers, though, they were the 8th seed. We talked about how this team is better than their record, and they're showing it right now. Other area scores of note, Ayersville on the road at Van Buren in their opening round of the playoffs. Win or go home. And right now Van Buren leading the Pilots at the half, 25-15. Looks like the same starting 5 that began the game. We'll take it for the third quarter for Tinora. Welling, Farrell, Homeyer, Lieb, and Spichala. Looking at Liberty Center's numbers, and they look the same as well. Garber, Miller, Gray, Badenhop, and Galen. Tigers have the ball to open up the third quarter. And immediately on the drive, and good defense that time. Quick hands by Lieb, gets the deflection and the steal.
Great job that time. Liberty Center going to their bread and butter. Isolation there, 2-man game, pick and roll. Garber gets picked off. Now the Rams trying to strike first.
Welling with 3 fouls, drives in, fades away, doesn't care. He's going to go out with both guns blazing tonight.
Well, you have to, and again, that's how you're going to have to attack that pressure defense, is by going right at the teeth of it, going downhill.
Down low, Galen. It trickles off the front of the iron. You don't see him miss that shot very often.
That's a mistake because they had Welling on him. Welling going to pull back, not risk getting that 4th foul.
Farrell throws it away, and again, just a little gun shy. And I know that he's not much of a perimeter shooter, but Scoop, he had a wide open lane on the baseline there, and for whatever reason, he second-guessed himself and tried to kick it out, and that's a turnover.
Well, the physicality of Liberty Center had a lot to do with that. So I think you're right, though, Brent. You have to just kind of play through that contact. Both these teams really have a lot of football athletes out there as well.
Back in a sagging man, long 3 left wing. That doesn't catch anything, and Welling with the board, and he bounces it off of a Tiger defender. How about that, though? An air ball, a defensive board, and yet he's double-teamed on the baseline. I mean, Liberty Center's defense has just been suffocating tonight.
Yeah, they're so active. That's the thing that sticks out. I mean, they're just seem to be moving at a much higher gear than the Rams.
Welling on the drive. Boy, that was dangerous by Chala for 3. Got it! It's a 5-0 run after the Premier Bank three-pointer by Tinora to open up the second half.
Oh, here's a steal by Welling and a one-on-one run out.
Nice crossover, leans in, banks it in! 7-0 run! And all of a sudden, Tinora fans on their feet.
Well, as they should be. The Rams are really stepped up the defense. They forced 2 Liberty Center Tiger turnovers.
Miller on the drive. Galen's there for the putback, and now we got a whistle. And who's calling timeout here? Looks like Liberty Center. 30-second variety, so we will keep it here. It was a 7-0 run by Tinora to open up the second half. That garbage putback by Galen takes the lead back up to 9. But, Scoop, I get the feeling we're going to see an even more intense second 16 minutes.
Well, I certainly think so. I mean, Tenora's not the #1 seed by accident. You know, this is the team that's won 17 games, the team that's won the GMC. This team is battle-tested. Boy, they're coming out firing here in this third quarter.
It's even choking Scoop up, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if you're Liberty Center, you knew that Tinora wasn't going to roll over and play dead. But right now, I think the die has been cast for what we can expect to see over quarters 3 and 4.
And Tinora has turned around their defense. Again, they only forced 3 turnovers the first half, yet they had 2 in the first minute and a half here of this third quarter. So I think the message from Coach Limenstall was certainly well received. And now the Rams are going to see some full court pressure by the Tigers once again.
Welling, again with those 3 fouls, being very aggressive as it comes up against Badenhop. Spichala has had a hot hand here in the second half, draining a 3 on the last trip down. Welling, does he want to drive baseline? He does. He's cut off, but he stops. Kicks it back out. Another 3 on the way. Airmailed. Farrell's there. And he'll kick it out, and he almost threw it away, and he did. And now he's going to foul coming up the backside. Owen Farrell with his first.
Actually, they're just going to rule that out of bounds.
So boy, he drew a break there.
It'll go down as a turnover only, but the second Ram turnover here of this third quarter as well. They now have 10 for the contest.
Well, that was a golden opportunity. Tinora getting back to play more D. Galen pushed off the blocks. Boy, bullet pass. This kid is so strong. Oh, an extra hop step. They get it to Galen. Low post. Off the square, nothing doing. The tip, a little pinball, and finally Spichala outlets. And Tinora will slow it down. Look out. Here comes Holmeyer driving baseline. Stripped from his knees. Can he call timeout? Nope, there's going to be a foul. A foul will be called on Badenhop. And the freshman just smiles. That's his second.
Yeah, perhaps maybe a freshman mistake that time. They really had Tinora in a bad spot. They bail him out with the reach. First foul by either team here in this second half.
Miller checks out. Cruz in for Liberty Center. Skip pass, near corner. Spichala drains another 3.
Great set play on the out of bounds, and Spichala has a hot hand. Feed the man a Premier Bank 3-pointer. And don't look now, but it's a 2-possession game.
Lead cut to half a dozen. Cruz backing down Welling with those 3 fouls. He had to let him go.
That's just high IQ basketball.
Yep.
You know you've got the matchup you want, and not much Tinora can do to stop that. Well, that's a huge answer after that 3.
Welling on the drive and kicks it to nobody. He got caught in midair. And we talked about the Liberty Center defense. Whoa, look at that. Badenhop with a little shake and bake, and it's going to be out of bounds off of Tinora. Scoop, it's not just the on-ball defense by Liberty Center, but everybody seems to be a step ahead of Tinora when it comes to the help side defense.
They're doing a tremendous job of help side defense. They're also doing a tremendous job of helping the helper. I mean, these guys are just flying to the basketball. And again, they know where the shooters are at. They've done a nice job of really focusing on those top scores.
Oh, Gray with a heat check and got it! Top of the key for another Premier Bank 3.
Oh, that's a dagger right there by Gray, who really had the ball just long enough to get his fingerprints on it. He's got that quick release, had just a little bit of space there. And wow, he continues to splash them home.
His 4th 3 of the game, and the lead back up to 11. Holmeyer on the drive, kicks it far side. Spichala cut off by Cruz. Tinora being patient. This is going to be a deep 3 by Spichala, and it bounces over the backboard. Well, shades of that first half, though, Scoop. How much farther and farther out Tinora is having to settle for shots.
No question about it. You'd think you could come down, probably get a 26-footer, whatever you want. That's really all that Liberty Center's been giving up here. Doing a great job of keeping the Rams in front.
Robinson. They go down low to Galen, back up top. Robinson with the pump fake. He got Spychala in the air, and he can't finish. Boy, point blank, and he missed. Tinora desperate for a hoop here as we come up on 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and after a 7-0 run to open up the second half, all of a sudden Liberty Center has responded, and the lead's back up to 11. Farrell picks up his dribble. Somebody's got to come help him. Well, that's a dangerous pass. Wow.
Great hands there by Welling to save the turnover.
On the drive, Lieb up top. Good ball reversal. Look at this. Farrell's going to launch and got it!
What a courageous shot by Owen Farrell, the sophomore. Great ball fake.
Oh, man.
Liberty Center honored it. That gave him some space. And now a heat check at the other end.
Yes!
In by Ethan Gray.
His fifth of the night.
Premier Bank 3 once again.
43-32, and just like that, the lead back up to 11 again. Holmeyer hanging on to the ball. Welling, does he want to drive? Got a little loose with it. Right now, no need to panic or rush if you're Tinora. What dangerous pass by Chala, trapped in the corner. Did he step out of bounds? Did he get fouled? It's going to be a travel.
And right now, turnovers continue to be a problem. Liberty Center has played clean here in the last 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Tinora with 4 third-quarter turnovers. Liberty Center has withstood another Tinora run as they have a double-digit lead. Garber brings it up here, directing the offense here with under 2 to go in this third quarter.
Top of the key. Gray, you got to honor him no matter where he's at on the court right now. He is sizzling hot. Long three, other wing. Long board kicks out to Spychala. Well, if you're Tinora, again, a basket here still cuts the deficit to single digits.
They've had a solid quarter. They're playing hard. They've matched the intensity of Liberty Center. They're starting to find some seams here with their offense.
Baseline cuts, Spychala kicks it back out. Lieb on the drive. Good ball reversal. Welling kicks it near corner. 3 on the way. In and out. Welling with the board. He'll kick it back out up top. Holmeyer thought about it. Farrell. This is a long-range 3. Good hustle, but out of bounds. Lieb, tremendous effort.
But once again, we're seeing Tinora maybe a little bit gun-shy. They got the ball with that dribble penetration down low, but instead of taking the shot inside, they're going inside out. Liberty Center's done a great job of rotating, and they're getting high hands on those shooters, so really no open looks here for the Rams.
And right it looks like, Tigers are going to take the air out of the ball here. Or will they? Now the offense goes into motion.
You get the matchup you want. If not, you'll be patient. There's a great entry pass inside.
Oh, wow.
And a great finish by Grady Miller. And, boy, that's another dagger. That stretches the lead back to 13.
24 seconds and counting left to go in the third quarter. Tinora desperate for a score on this possession. Farrell drives, stops, and pops and gives it to him.
And now the Rams need a stop here. 10 to go. Garber with it on the left side.
Pump fake, Robinson on the drive. We've got a whistle and a foul on the floor with 3.9 seconds left.
That's probably a really good foul by Alex Holmeyer. Because that was a hand check. They have plenty of fouls to give, so the Tigers will have to reset it here with 3.9 to go. Boy, Holmeyer, another one of those many football players out here tonight. The guy that's not afraid to use his physicality out here in the hardwood.
Inbounding on the baseline, Badenhop. Lobs it into the middle of the paint. That's a good look, but too hard off the square. Rebounded by Lieb, and the third quarter comes to an end. Well, it was 33-19 at the half. It is now 45-34. The visiting Tigers leading the host and number 1 seed in this regional, the Tinora Rams, by 11. Final 8 minutes up on the scoreboard clock. We'll take a Mark Moats Ford timeout. Back with the fourth and final quarter on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Back at the Emerald, final 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock. What a tremendous ball game. The number 1 versus number 8 seed matchup in this bracket. And the 8th-seeded Liberty Center Tigers taking it to top-seeded Tinora, 45-34. The winner advances to next Thursday night. Bracket will be against the winner of the Eastwood Delta game, and that will be at Napoleon. Right now, there is 8 minutes left in one of these two team seasons. And with the Tigers in command, we'll see what the Rams have left in the tank.
Well, a 15-12 third quarter for Rams where they played really well, but they're going to have to somehow really expedite that differential, trailing double digits here, starting out the fourth quarter.
Welling on the drive, leans in. He can't get the basket, but he does draw the foul. As this one's going to go against Gray, that'll be his first.
A great job by Welling, able to get that one-on-one drill penetration in there. He's winning those perimeter battles. That's the same way he started the third quarter. First free throw up and in.
61% on the season for the Rams point guard, and he has spent a ton of energy at both ends of the court tonight.
I've been impressed with his work ethic here tonight. He has not taken a play off. He's really willed his team, inspired them with this hustle at both ends.
He's got 9 on the night, and that is exactly the lead right now for Liberty Center. Galen, with just 5 points on the evening, fades away high off the square.
Well, that was the first time tonight I saw that Tinora did not run a double team at Galen. He recognized it, made a nice move there off the window. Backdoor
cut, nifty move off the square for Adam Spichala. That is his first basket from inside the three-point arc tonight.
That's great offense that time, going backdoor. Here's a tough shot. Good rebound by the Rams on the backside by Lieb. The Rams now can creep a little bit closer.
7 minutes, now less than that, left to go in the contest. Welling on the drive, going hard to the iron, and he takes the foul. 3 fouls or not, he's going to take matters into his own hands.
I just love his energy tonight, and that time he really forced the officials to make a call. You know, he went downhill once again, did not shy away from a double team, took it up strong, made that an easy call for the officials. And now once again, Welling the chance to tack on 2 more here for the Rams. First one up and in.
Scoop, I'm looking at him, and he's trying to catch his breath in between shots. This kid he looks exhausted, and yet he's going to operate on fumes if he has to.
Yeah, they may have to carry him off the floor tonight, but I guarantee you he's leaving everything out there.
Wow!
And he gets the shooter's touch right there, and now the Rams have creeped within 7. Huge possession right here coming up.
Now, every possession you almost feel is a must-stop defensively for Tinora, don't you? And there's a steal by Welling. He's going to go coast to coast. Crosses over. Count it! And one coming!
Whoa, what a play by Welling once again. All predicated by some tough defense at the other end. And again, he's the one guy that's not afraid to attack the rack, go downhill. And now he gets rewarded for it once again. As this is as close as the Rams have been here since the opening 8 minutes.
In and out.
Galen with the rebound. Still just a 2-possession game.
Yep. Liberty Center still in control right now, but they have been outscored single-handedly by Welling. Nice drive. This one off the mark, and Spichala with a board.
Tinora really starting to make their presence felt on the glass, keeping the Tigers to one and done.
Here goes Welling again, and another foul! He's just taking on everybody and anybody.
Well, I would expect Greg Badenhop to maybe change defenses now that Welling just kind of in a comfort zone. I mean, he's in fuego right now. He's got one thing on his mind, getting to the rack, and now he's got two more from the stripe. This one, White, just rolls off the front of the rim. It hit the backboard rim a couple times before dropping out.
Miller out, Robinson in for Liberty Center, trying to make one of two here. And he cannot. The lead remains 5. Coming up on 6 minutes left to go. On the drive, contact, following. What a play by Galen.
Great job by Galen to move without the basketball, was able to get in position, gets the offensive rebound and put back. Huge answer by Liberty Center.
Welling drives but dishes. Wide open. This is a deep three, and it goes over the backboard off the fingertips of Farrell. Lead remains 7. 5:43 left to go in the ball game. On our Marco's Pizza scoreboard, 7 minutes left to go in the ball game in Van Buren. And Van Buren leading Ayersville 35-24 as we've got a whistle here.
That great take that time by the senior Blake Garber, who draws the contact. And now Garber, a 65% free throw shooter on the season, will head to the stripe.
Farrell picks up his first. Garber trying to pick up his first point of the ball game. Releases, got it.
A good-looking stroke that time by the southpaw. Once again, Liberty Center trying to withhold this Tinora run. They get the lead back to 8.
Garber, a 65% free throw shooter. Lefty delivers. Boy, he's perfect here. Liberty Center needed that one.
Boy, they did. Great job by Garber. A guy that's really not known for his offense out there, but he just made a play that time. Gets that lead back to 9.
Farrell reverses. They post Walling up, and it's too hard off the square. He gets his own board. Bodies flying everywhere, and this one, no foul. They play on, and Chris Lymanstall is fit to be tied.
A lot of contact there in those last two shots.
5 minutes left to go in the game. Galen, skip pass. Boy, nice catch by Gray. On the drive, middle of the paint, running one-hander, trickles off the iron, and Welling is underneath for the board. Almost a must-score feel for it. Spichala, long 3-0 doing. Welling's there. Dishes back out. Far corner, Lieb, in and out. Hustling, ball knocked around, pump fake, and thrown away. Gray will slow it down. Badenhop on the drive. Look at the freshman weave in and out of traffic.
Yeah, this is a grinder out here. It's been, you talk about physicality, it's turned into football here in the last few minutes here. And I think Liberty Center recognized it here. They're going to take a little air out. There's been nothing for free here by either team at either end.
Tigers are happy to milk some clock right now, up by 9, and now under 4 left to go in the game. On the drive, the C splits, and yet the left-handed layup doesn't fall for Garber.
Boy, that was a huge drive there by Garber. Unfortunately for the Tigers, he cannot finish.
We've hit crunch time. Now under 4 minutes left to go. Spichala for 3. Off the heel of the iron. He didn't look like he quite got his base set there.
And how about Robinson going up to secure that rebound for the Tigers, keeping Tinora to 1 and done.
Garber fouled from behind by Farrell, his second.
Well, that's just the second Ram foul as well, so Tinora still with 2 fouls to give here in the final 3:24.
3:24, and it looks like Liberty Center's game plan now is to just run clock. Scoop, at what point do you need to start fouling if you're Tinora to extend this ball game? We got a timeout being called by the Tigers. It's a full timeout, so we'll take a Mark Moats board with them. Serving the Defiance community since 1916, located on County Road 424 and online at markmotesford.com. 3:19 left to go in this one. Liberty Center 51, Tinora 42. Back after this on DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Three minutes, 19 seconds. That's all that's left in this ball game. That's all that's left in the season for one of these two teams. And right now, visiting Liberty Center, the 8th seed coming out of this bracket, leading top-seeded Tinora, 51-42. Back at the Emerald, Brent Balbanon alongside Scoop Miller. Scoop, I asked you the question going into the break, so I'll ask you coming out of it. It looks like Liberty Center's philosophy right now is to just back it out and milk clock. You're up by at minimum of 3 possessions. At what point, if you're Tinora, do you need to extend this game and start fouling?
Well, I think right now, I don't think you have to come out and intensely foul, but the officials have shown they're going to let these guys play, so be ultra aggressive here. If you get the turnover, that's great. If you get the foul, you still have a couple to give. You have to start extending this game here. You want to try to get maximize possessions here in the final 3:12 of this one.
That is Farrell's third, team foul number 3. The inbounds comes to Garber. Farrell on him. Coming up on 3 minutes. Spichala with the deflection. He'll go coast to coast, lays it up and in.
Now points for the defense. Big time play by Spichala that time. Got the soft pass, was able to get the steal and run out. Huge bucket there for Tinora.
Down by 7. They still have got to get stops. You can't afford to give Liberty Center any more, and that's a tough move. Ball being batted around. Johnny on the spot. Cruz with the lay-in. That might be the dagger.
Well, the physicality again pays off for Liberty Center. Tinora here with their shooting ability can get back in it.
Just like that, Homeyer on the drive. That's just his second basket of the night. But now with under 2:30 left to go, you've got a foul, you think. Send him to the line. This is where, again, if there's a chink in the armor for Liberty Center, it is their free throw shooting, but a defensive breakdown there, and Cruz with another lay-in.
Now that time, just nobody home on that backside. Just too easy by the Rams.
3 ball from the far corner. Skims off the iron. Welling pump fakes. They play on. The dish down low. Pump fake. Wow! And Galen comes right down on the back of Lieb's neck. That call pretty much makes itself.
Yeah, that was even a delayed call on that one, but I think they are. Even though he did not really attempt a shot, they're going to give him 2. I'm not sure why.
Well, I think Coach Badenhop is asking for the same thing, but
ball never left his hand. That's only the 4th team foul.
Well, this is the guy you want at the free throw line if you're Tinora. Lieb, an 81% free throw shooter, connects.
Yeah, and this is big. This is what Tinora needs. Score points, clock stop. So important to hit the second one here where you can set up some full court pressure. Rams still have 1 foul to give.
He's got them both. 55-48. The lead trimmed to 7, but right now Liberty Center, the clock is an extra teammate as the Tigers lead it. And as Scoop mentioned, you've got to be setting something up if you're Coach Badenhop because you know you're going to see full court pressure.
Yeah, you're going to have to really be strong with the basketball. Remember, the Rams still have a foul to give, so they're going to really come out, maybe try to get a double team in the backcourt. But again, I think if you're Tinora, you've got a foul before Liberty Center gets the ball down there at ground zero. The last couple Tiger baskets have been layups there.
Yep.
I think you're much better served to make them earn it from the stripe there instead of giving the easy deuces. But one thing about this, Brent, you mentioned how one team's going to pack it up for the season after this final 152. We've seen clearly neither team going to go down easy here tonight.
Well, as I look at the stat sheet for the Tigers, there are only 2 on the roster that are shooting better than 60% from the free throw line. Camden Robinson, a small sample size entering tonight, 13 of 17 for 76.5%. And then Blake Garber at 65%. So guard those guys, let anybody else take the inbounds and take your chances, right?
Yeah, I think you have to extend the game. Liberty Center just a 56% free throw shooting team on the season. So if you can get them to split a pair, you come down, hit a three. That's good math.
Right now, Garber's the only man on the court. Oh, they're going to run an inbounds play. A deep post, and that layup was just well executed.
That really was a great baseball pass. And how about the hands of Garber? The lefty finishes.
3 off the mark. Welling with the board. Kicks it out up top. They've got a hustle. Spichala. Bullet pass. Nice cut. And a foul! Whip it. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it. Lieb with a chance for a 3-point play.
Oh, that's a gift right there for the Rams. As that time Liberty Center tardy there on that baseline cut. And now with the foul, they get a chance for the N1. And once again, a chance to set up some full court pressure.
Wow. A chance to cut it to just 6 and press if you make it. Lieb. Got it. Here comes the press. Nobody on the inbounder. Robinson is not a guy you want to foul, and neither is this one. Garber at 60%. Farrell is on him. But right now, if you're Tinora, you can't be too picky. Down by 2 possessions, 6 points. Precious seconds ticking off the clock. This is their best free throw shooter. He surrenders it. And notice, 0 of 23 are the only ones handling the ball right now. And Scoop, how much more time can you let tick off the clock here if you're Tinora? Ball deflected out of bounds by Welling, but that was the better part of 30 seconds that just ticked off the clock.
Yeah, Coach Badenhop's certainly going to take that and run with it. But right now, Tinora has to find a way to extend this game. So if you don't get a quick turnover, you have to foul immediately.
Into the backcourt, and that's exactly what Spichala does, and he fouls the best free throw shooter for the Tigers.
Yeah, I'd rather double team their top free throw shooter, make somebody else hit you from a stripe, but they do stop the clock. But as you mentioned, their top free throw shooter, that was just the fourth foul. So the next one will put the Tigers in the bonus. Of course, they go right in bounds to Robinson.
Yep, and right now you just can't be too picky, and he's got almost an unimpeded path to the basket, and yet it rolls out of bounds. Oh, my goodness, and Tinora can't believe it. They thought that should be Ram possession, and the changing call isn't going to be forthcoming. But right now, you've got to foul if you're Tinora.
Yeah, and you have to deny Robinson the inbounds pass as well.
Garber's inbounding. This is a guy you should foul. Farrell comes up on him, and they do foul Badenhop.
Now you're putting the freshman, a 51% free throw shooter at the stripe.
3 points on the game, and these are his first trip. This is his first trip to the free throw line.
Well, you talk about a big moment for a youngster. You're seeing it right here with Isaiah Badenhop. First one.
Short. You can't simulate this in practice. You just can't. How many times have you run the drill? 1 to tie, 2 to win. Do it at the end of practice so your legs are tired, but there's just something different about it when it's in the game and it's on the line.
Well, you're right, and Tinora has to be careful here. They have to make sure if this one does not go in, they secure the rebound. Liberty Center going to attack the glass.
Ball tapped around. Welling's got it. They've got a hustle. Here comes Spichala. Who wants a 3? Nobody. And now precious seconds ticking off the clock, and it's thrown away. That'll do it. Cruz on the drive. He's fouled, and count it. Oh, Tinora had a golden opportunity, and they just had a wasted possession.
Yeah, just a little gun shy, I think, once again. Credit Liberty Center. Pretty good transition defense that time. As the Rams, you knew it's a sense of urgency, a 6-point game with under 45 to go, but they kick it out. And how about Liberty Center? Their defense comes up Yahtzee one more time.
Yep.
And now Garrison Cruz will head to the stripe going for the N1. Cruz has had a monster, and I mean monster, fourth quarter.
11 points on the night. Tenora's got to get something off, and in a hurry. Spichala, this is deep, and got it! Timeout being called on a Premier Bank 3. Chris Lymanstall wants to set up the press. They're keeping it interesting with the lead now trimmed back down to 6. But, man, that last possession on the turnover, what a difference. It could be a 2-point game right now instead of 4.
Well, even with the turnover, you can't hang your head. You got to go back and play defense. I'd rather see them foul instead of foul on the layup. You have to foul sooner, I think. But again, don't take anything away from Liberty Center. Boy, their defense really set the tone early, and they have not let up. And that turnover by Tinora, their 14th of the contest, very uncharacteristic for the Rams this season.
They average barely over 10. .27 seconds left. It remains a 2-possession game. Robinson, best free throw shooter on the roster. Number 23, Welling is on him. Second best free throw shooter. Garber will inbound. And you got to foul immediately, and that's exactly what happens as Lieb picks up his first.
And for Cruz, he's a 60% free throw shooter in the season, but had no problem draining that and one just moments ago. But right now, these are big. Still just a 2-possession game. Cruz trying to make it a 3-possession game here as he gets ready to set loose the first of 2.
Boy, 60% free throw shooter, but he's drained his last 2 with the game on the line.
Now Cruz, another football player for Liberty Center. He was first team all NWOL as an athlete as far as the offense goes. Boy,
that is just music. Clutch. Just clutch. Lead back up to 8. Some token pressure by Badenhop on Welling. They've got to get a shot off. They can't waste too much time. Spichala being dogged. Step back 3. Just a bit short, and that will probably do it. 12 seconds left. Tinora will not foul. An 8 seed will knock off a 1 seed. Don't tell Liberty Center it's an upset. Buzzer sounds. Back-to-back wins, and the Tigers are moving on. 62-54.
Wow, what a performance by Liberty Center tonight. They come on the road in a hostile environment. The number 8 seed taking on the number 1 seed, but wow, they get it done. And they will be moving on to the Grand Canyon on Thursday.
Yep.
I believe that's the 6 o'clock game. That'll be the first game from Napoleon on Thursday night. Again, they will take on the winner of number 4 seeded Eastwood and number 7 seeded Delta.
And for the Rams, they will gather at half court. An incredible season led by an incredible group of seniors. There's nothing you can say, teammate, coach, or even a parent, when you know that you're not going to wear the uniform ever again. Hopefully in a couple of weeks, perspective will kick in and they'll know just what a tremendous year they had. But they will have to pack it away. Final score, 62-54. We'll take a 2-minute break. 2-minute timeout. Back with your South 66 Lanes postgame show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
The Emerald is still buzzing, specifically on the visitors' side, as Liberty Center will cut down the nets. They made the bus ride, short one over 24, and they will leave the Emerald with a 62-54 win. The 8th seed knocks off the top seed Tinora Rams, survive and advance. What did we say during the pregame scoop? You play for the right to wear the uniform one more time. And the Tigers have done exactly that. And let's tip your cap to them. Tinora made a tremendous second half run, but they just couldn't quite get over the hump. And tell me, who in the rest of this bracket is going to beat the Liberty Central team that played the way they did tonight?
Well, no question about it. Don't look at this as a major upset or even an upset, because this is one of those games where we knew it was going to be 50-50. I honestly told my wife, she always asked me, who's going to win before I leave? And I always give her a prediction for what it's worth, but I thought, I think Liberty Center is going to win by 4. Just the fact that tough to beat a good team twice. I know how good this Tinora team is. They've had an incredible season, but I also know how athletic this Liberty Center team is. I know how hard-nosed they are, how physical they are, and the physicality in tournament play usually wins out. They usually let both teams play. I thought the officials did a great job tonight letting both teams play like they did. But I think that kind of plays into Liberty Center's hands a little bit. So congratulations to the Tigers. They'll move on. For Tinora, they didn't go down easily, Brent. They scored 35 points in that second half after being held to 19 points at halftime. So they gave everything they had. They just had no answer for the strength and grittiness of the Tigers tonight. And as you mentioned, the Tigers were just playing at a whole nother level for 32 minutes here tonight.
They've raised their level of play Tuesday night against Emmanuel Christian, and even a higher level tonight. They had to against top-seeded Tinora. Let's run down the unofficial scoring totals. We have 2 19-point performances. Let's start with the Tigers. Ethan Gray, he had 11 at the half. He obviously had 8 in the second half, including a couple of three-pointers. He more than doubled his per-game average of 9.2 as he finishes with 19. 11 for Garrison Cruz off the bench. Folks, this kid, again, a solid role player, but he averages 4 a ball game. He finishes with 11.
Yeah,
everybody raised their play tonight for Liberty Central.
He averages under 4, 3.8, but again, they are so good at playing their roles. We saw Tinora made some adjustments on Galen. That kind of opened up some other guys. In Liberty Center, they took advantage of what was there. No guy tried to do too much for the Tigers, but they all did their share, and they're very deserving of this sectional championship that we witnessed here tonight.
Rounding out the scoring for the Tigers, 9 points apiece for Gavin Galen and Grady Miller. 3 for Isaiah Badenhop, and a deuce for point guard Blake Garber. On the flip side, all 5 starters. Look, this has been the blueprint, if you will, for Tinora all season long. They only go 2 deep on the bench, but another 19-point performance, this time from Adam Spichala. He had 6 at the half. He had 3 3-pointers in the second half, but comes up just a little short with his teammates. 11 points tonight for Josh Lieb. 13 for Connor Welling. I know we don't keep rebounding stats, but if he didn't have a double-double tonight, I'll be stunned. He goes out with both guns blazing. I know he would rather take the win, but what a tremendous effort from the senior point guard.
I tell you, that's an effort I'm going to remember for a long time. Unfortunately for Welling and his teammates, it's going to go down as an L, but he certainly, I thought his effort was gritty and gutty from the start. He played the entire 32 minutes, did not take a play off. And again, as a coach, you just respect that type of effort. That's one of the performances I'll remember for a long time.
Rounding out the scoring, again, 5 points for Owen Farrell and 4 for Alex Homeyer, a deuce off the bench for Parker Hancock. What did you have for turnovers?
Well, for turnovers on tonight, as we mentioned at halftime, Tinora had 8, Liberty Center just 3. Both teams continued the heat the second half. Tinora finished with 15 turnovers of the night. Liberty Center, to their credit, just 7 turnovers tonight. And really, you have to look no further than that. Liberty Center really did a great job. Valuing the basketball, playing strong with it, protecting it. And that was the difference here in this highly contested sectional final here we saw at the Emerald.
Well, there you take a look. One piece of nylon left to cut down, I believe, is going to be Coach Badenhop to do the honors, and this place will explode as the Tiger faithful all hanging around. And on the flip side, again, Tinora, plenty of their fans hanging around as well, waiting for their guys to come out, and a show of class by their fans. But it's going to sting for a while. But I'll tell you what, what's the best way to put it? Time usually is the best indicator of perspective. And hopefully in a couple of weeks, certainly a couple of months, this team will look back on what they accomplished this season to share the GMC regular season title, 17 wins on the year. They can hold their heads high.
Well, you're right. They certainly can. It's going to take a little time, as you mentioned, Brent, but these kids have done so much. The first GMC titles we mentioned in 14 years. You got to go back to 2011, the last time the Rams were able to secure a title where they were co-champs.
Yep.
But again, they left it all out there. They had a fantastic year. You get 17 wins in the neat meat grinder schedule they had. That speaks volumes. But how about Liberty Center? We mentioned they're on a 2-game winning streak coming in, but prior to that 2-game winning streak, they're on a 6-game losing skid.
Yep.
They could have easily, all right, we've got baseball, we've got track around the corner, but what do? They just went out, continued to grind. They got a big win in that sectional semi against Emmanuel Christian, and then to come on the road to take out the number 1 seed. Boy, this one's got to feel awfully good here in Tiger Town tonight.
We're going to take one last time out on our South 66 Lanes post-game show. We do not expect to have any player or coaches interviews, and understandably so, as that Tinora locker room has got to be pretty raw right now. It is balanced out at the other end of the court, just to the left. You can't quite see the Tigers lining up underneath the now netless hoop to take a picture, but they are moving on, and I don't know who wants to get in their way, but whoever ends up coming out of the other half of that bracket. You figure Eastwood would be the heavy favorite, but whether it's them or Delta, man, you had better be prepared for an 8 seed that is playing like a 1 seed right now. Quick timeout. We're back with more of the South 66 Lanes postgame show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
Back to put a wrap on the South 66 Lanes postgame show, as still a lot of buzz here at the Emerald, and what a fantastic ball game as Liberty Center holds off a late charge from Tinora, 62-54. With the win, Tigers now 11-12 overall. They advance to next week's action. They'll take on the winner of Eastwood and Delta. With the loss, the Rams, disappointing on your home court, but still a successful season as they wrap it up at 17-5. Scoop, we've got one team left of our area that we cover. Everybody else is bowed out. It will be the Defiance boys, as I'm being given an update tonight. Ayersville on the road at Van Buren. Van Buren wins a final of 53-46. So Defiance's boys, the last of our area teams that we will be covering, and we will be down in Findlay next week as they will take on the winner of Wapakoneta and Springfield, that game being played tonight. So we will have the opponent for you in the next 24 hours. But boy, what a ball game here this evening, and it just didn't disappoint. I think, what did I ask you during the pregame? If it's half as entertaining on the court as it looked on paper, everybody was going to be in for a treat. Everybody was tonight.
They really were. You know, both teams, their credit, both well coached. Both teams wanted this game awfully badly, but we talked about the keys, and credit Liberty Center. You know, the two keys for the Tigers, we talked about shoot the basketball, that shot doctor effect, and also winning the turnover chain. They did both those well, and they will advance and move on.
So I look at Coach Badenhop. You know what? We'll hang on just a little bit longer. I think he's going to make the run down Media Row here, so we'll hang on. Obviously, he's going to go to our partners on the radio first, but we will stick around to see if he wants to join us as well. So what we're going to do is take a 3-minute timeout. Actually, a 3-minute break. If not, we'll wrap up the South 66 Lanes postgame show right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports. On that.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Well, there you take a look at our perch atop the Emerald here. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller as the South 66 Lanes postgame show continues. Just over my right shoulder, it would be on the left of your screen, is Coach Greg Badenhop, and he is finishing up one of his post-game duties. We anticipate him joining us, so we're hanging around just a little bit longer as his Tigers, the 8th seed, I can't say stunned. You and I talked about this. Anybody that follows basketball, especially in these two conferences, this part of the state, knew that this was far from a cakewalk for top-seeded Tinora. And 62-54 the final score as Liberty Center came out. They had a 20-point fourth quarter on Tuesday night to help dispatch a good Emmanuel Christian squad. They jumped out to a big lead, an 8-point lead here in the first quarter, 16-8. They led 33-19 at the half. They held off a huge third quarter charge, leading 45-34, and the final score 62-54. But man, what's the old phrase? It's not how you start, it's how you finish, Scoop. This team is a perfect example of playing its best basketball when it counts at the end of the season.
Well, they really are, and give Coach Badenhop a lot of credit for that. Those guys have regrouped. They had that 6-game losing streak down the stretch, but that was against a meat grinder schedule as well. You know, they had some big boys in there. They battled, they competed. They didn't get the W's, but they stayed the course. And again, you have to respect the NWOAL. Here's a team, look at all the conferences in the area. They have the highest winning percentages when you compare that to the WBL, the GMC, and so forth.
It's your best side. It's your best side. He's like, wait a minute, look at me. This is a red-letter day. We finally get him on our airwaves here. And I pointed right at that camera because dignitaries get the center stage. Look, first things first, let's tip your cap. It's one of those things where you knew, and anybody that knew, you and I had a quick chance to chat before tip-off, even the warm-ups here, you knew this was going to be a meat grinder.
Yep.
How much did your regular season, because you talked about how you're proud of the schedule. You were better than your record indicated. How much did the last 2 months go into preparation for this moment?
I mean, I feel like that's the reason why we're able to compete at this level and come tournament time, you know, for year in and year out. Just because when you play the schedule, not only the opponent's tough, but they're all different. You know, when you're playing St. Francis and Perrysburg, and then you play an Otsego team and Patrick Henry, they're all really good, but they all do really different things really well. So when you go into a tournament, you're always seeing different styles, and you might even see some stuff that team perhaps is new to you to kind of throw in a wrinkle. When you play that many good opponents, I feel like we've seen the gamut of everything you can throw at us. Our kids are comfortable. It might not always look like we're comfortable in every situation, but I feel confident that we know what we're doing in most situations because of the opponents that we've played kind of leading into it.
You talked about your kids looking comfortable. Well, they play their role so well. Those kids don't try to do too much. They respect each other, and they leave it out there. I through guys really set the tone through defense here tonight.
Yeah, that first 16 minutes was close to as well as we've played all year long, just from an offense and defensive standpoint. You know, I even felt like defensively we had a couple more opportunities to get some deflections where we just didn't see the ball. We aggressively switched and we're there, and if we throw our hand and see it, maybe even the lead's even a little bit more than what it was. But that defensive effort, you know, is something we kind of hang our hat on year in and year out. And then offensively, we have really skilled offensive players, and I think you see some of them starting to shine with Ethan Gray out there. And when you combine those two things, I think that's what happened in that first half. It's just a perfect storm for us of both ends of the floor clicking.
I'm going to ask you to expand on that because it wasn't just your on-ball defense. It was the help side defense. And Scoop mentioned help the helper. It looked like an amoeba out there. Everybody just kind of moving as one. How long did it take to get that chemistry down?
A long time for this particular team, and mostly because, you know, I mentioned before the game the three Cruz triplets that graduated last year, they were, you know, not just because they were brothers, but they were so good at that, knowing what each other was going to do. So that made it easy for us to do that stuff defensively. Well, when you take those three out of it, it took us a while to get to that point on the defensive end. But I was very, very proud of guys that I would not consider to be defensive players stepping up in a big way on that end of the floor, especially in that first half. You know, just guys that are getting in passing lanes, and then when we do get beat, there's someone there to help. And then, and the most important thing when you do that, when you're pressuring, is you have to rotate after that help. And if you don't do that, good teams like Tinora, who pass the ball exceptionally well, are going to find that open guy. And that second and third rotation out of that help, boy, I thought, especially in the first half, second half got a little bit lax on that, but those rotations were just outstanding in the first half.
And, Coach, talk about Ethan Gray here a little bit tonight. I mean, it looked like they were trying to run a second defender at Galen tonight.
Yep.
And to his credit, he didn't try to do too much. He stayed within the offense, but that kind of freed up Gray a little bit. Boy, he was lights out.
Yeah, I told my staff after the game, when he shoots like that, coaching offense is fun because, man, I can look like a genius over there. We're not running anything complicated, but what it really does for us is it creates spacing. And we talk about spacing all the time. And when you have a guy who's shooting that well, and you saw it again at the end of that first half there, he comes chasing off, and they're chasing him off of screens, and Grady slips in behind it. That doesn't happen if he didn't knock down 3 or 4,
Sure.
whatever he'd had to that point. So him shooting the ball well opens up so many things for us. And I'm telling you, when he is confident, all he's got to do is get it off. It doesn't matter where he's at on the floor, what kind of balance he has. His shot is so pure up top from a form standpoint. He just got to get that thing off, and it's going to go in.
I'm trying to think of a way to put this. Just maturity, I guess, and especially at the stripe. And I keep this basically broken down: first 8 minutes, second 8 minutes, first 4 minutes of a quarter, second 4 minutes of a quarter. I've got you for 5 for 7 from the free throw line from 3 minutes under when the game was on the line. I know whoever has played basketball that doesn't remember line up, 1 to tie, 2 to win, you run if you miss. There's no way to simulate that when the game is actually on the line.
We've actually, it's funny you say that because we have done a couple of drills that are as close to simulating that as you can have in a practice where you're trying to make a certain amount in a row. So when you get to that, let's say it's 10 in a row, when you get to 8 and 9 and 10, it doesn't matter if you're running or not because everyone in the gym's looking at you. It feels like the end of a game. Now, whether that helped in this situation or not, maybe it's just because Garrison is just a mentally tough and a kid that wants to go shoot the ball at the end of the game. And in our Bryan game in overtime, he sealed it with 2 free throws in that game as well. So, our kids are pretty mentally tough. And to see Gary seek the ball like that, and I think most opposing coaches would probably say, yeah, foul him. He looks like a football player. Maybe doesn't look like – sure, because Gary at the end of the game has been outstanding.
Look, percentage-wise, we went down it. Who do you want to foul? Who do you want to deny? But in this situation, it didn't seem to matter.
Yeah.
How do you build on that now? I mean, again, knowing, okay, I've done it once.
Yeah.
Try me again.
Yeah.
What's your message to your team?
Yeah, I mean, I even Isaiah, who missed it too, I told him after the game that come Thursday or Saturday, if we're lucky enough to play there, like we're going to need you to make 2 more bigger free throws than that. So the only thing you can't do in those situations is feel sorry for yourself or react poorly because generally that leads to bad things happening on the other end. So for Gary to do it, that's outstanding. Next game it could be Cam, could be Ethan, could be Gavin. There's really nobody who we put up that free throw line that I'm not confident can't step up and from a mental standpoint handle stepping up and knocking those down.
Coach, we want you to enjoy this one, but if you would, fast forward a little bit to next week. We know the district's wide open. We knew that coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, people are going to see this game think, an 8 seed beat a 1 seed, a big upset now.
Yeah.
That's not the case. I think this is wide open, but what are you looking for next week?
It's kind of a mini conference tournament,
Yeah.
too. We were looking at the GMC and the NWOAL making up the bulk of this bracket.
Yep.
Is that an advantage or is that a push?
I feel like it's probably a push, and for I think the biggest challenge for this district is the familiarity that everybody has with each other. Not just the GMC and the NWL often cross-scheduled for non-conference play each other a lot, but even Eastwood we played last year in the tournament at our place in a sectional final, and we won that one in a tight game. We scrimmage them. Well, normally we scrimmage them every year when football doesn't interfere. So everybody in this district's familiar. I mean, Archibald and whoever they're playing, they're going to be familiar with each other. That familiarity makes it, even if the records are tight and you feel like it's close, that familiarity makes it just 50-50 type of games. But for us, I told our kids, there's no secret. Liberty Center basketball's not always been at the top of the pantheon when it comes to having success, and we've only ever had one team in our history. This is team number 99. One team ever make it to a regional. It's 1989. So those kids have over a 3-day span have an opportunity to do something for the second time in school history, and that's as if you need motivation this time of year. That's all the motivation hopefully they can need.
Well, Coach, we know that the scout will be out and you'll be back after it, but at least for the next 24 hours, enjoy this one, will you?
Yeah,
congratulations to you guys. I'm guessing the tires on the bus won't even touch the pavement on 24 as they drive back to the school. We're going to put a wrap on this one. Our thanks going out to Coach coming over and joining us. 62-54, the final score. Scoop, appreciate you throwing on the headsets. We've got at least one more next week.
Yeah, let's hope we got more than that. But, Defiance, that's going to be a great matchup. Heading to Findlay there. And, again, fun time of the year here.
Yep.
chance to play in the district tournament. You don't need any extra motivation. That's all the motivation you need right there. A chance to wear the uniform one more time.
That's going to do it for our broadcast here this evening. For our entire crew doing a fantastic job as usual. Big thank you going out to our sponsors for helping make the broadcast a possibility. And as always, you the fan for tuning in. For Scoop Miller, I'm Brent Balbinot. Final score tonight. Liberty Central knocks off top-seeded Tinora 62-54. You've been watching a presentation of DCTV Sports.